Blizzard, let's chat! What's up guys, Krohun here, bringing you episode 3 of Blizz Let's Chat, where we do PvP discussion, and we also take questions from you guys, and I answer them, and you can send in your questions to krohunmail@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on YouTube, or you can leave a comment below in this video, or any other video, and if I think the question's good enough, I will put it into one of these videos. Okay. On to today's PvP discussion topic. Today's PvP discussion topic is the 10% nerf to windwalker monks. And I know you guys probably thought I was going to do this because I am a windwalker monk, as my main spec class and everything is monk, and I'm main windwalker, so, you know, it's obvious that I would feel strongly about this. And that's mostly because of why they said they would do, why they're doing this nerf. And that it's not actually happened in the game. Basically, they nerfed Windwalker monks, not because they was doing ridiculous damage during your cooldowns or anything like that, like everyone expected. It's actually because of the... and I just want to, throw this out there to you. The buff to Chi Wave, right? So they doubled the damage Chi Wave do. So before it was hitting for about 16k, and then since the nerf, it's now hitting 15k. And, it was meant to be doubled. So it should be hitting like 30k-ish now on live, and it's hitting for about 15k. This is a tick mine, so total it would be a lot more. I think it would be something like 240k damage. And, then you could sort of understand, like, oh yeah, 240k damage in one global, that's a lot. I could understand why they would nerf it. And then they actually didn't, I would have thought they would nerf Chi Wave like anyone else. Nerf the Chi Wave, because then that would make sense. But they didn't nerf Chi Wave. They left it as it is and nerfed something else, which is, if they'd have looked at nerfing Chi Wave, they would have realized that Chi Wave wasn't actually buffed. The 100% damage increase that they promised us in the notes for 5.2 actually didn't come through, and that's why we got nerfed. And I don't know what else to say about that, really. Like, if you just look at it and compare it to other classes and stuff, our damage wasn't, the best in the game, or whatever, especially for PvP. Warriors do theoretical about 60 to 70% increased damage during their cooldowns. And Windwalker monks, even if you stack full mastery, you can get to about 40% in PvP. And so, you're still well behind warriors. So it's not like we was doing amazing, ridiculous damage. And it does, it does take us 1.5 minutes to stack it up in PvP. And then, so, it takes 1.5 minutes just to be able to use our cooldown. And then another 1.5 minutes to get it back up again. Whereas a warrior just has it up every time. It's like, obviously it's on one cooldown, but from the beginning the gates open, you've got to be worried about it. Against Windwalker monk, you don't have to worry at all. So, when you consider stuff like that into the factors that it's like, it couldn't have been overpowered, right? Because, you can just shut him that Windwalker monk down, same as you would do a warrior, and you'd be alright. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. This is obviously a bug that Blizzard have overlooked, and I need you guys to basically go to the forums and spam about it. I need you guys to just tweet Ghostcrawler. I've tweeted myself, quite a few times about this, but me, on my own, I'm not big enough. I don't have enough power to be able to influence Ghostcrawler. I don't think anyone does on their own. You need to get a big, massive amount of people to all send him messages at once. So go and tell Ghostcrawler that Chi Wave still only ticks for 15k, and you promised us 100% damage increase. You don't have to tell him why or whatever else. Say it was meant to tick for 30k when this patch come through, and it only ticks for 15k. And you said a double damage, 100% damage increase, double damage. Yeah, we're nerfing healing, but we're not going to even look at the healing. Double damage, you said, and it's not doing double damage. They nerfed the healing, by the way. Just want to throw it out there to you. The healing nerf went through, but the double damage didn't go through. If you look at it, if you think about it like this, they used to hit the same, so the damage and the healing used to hit the same. If you check your tooltip right now, it will say something, if you've got, like, roughly about full relevant, it'll say 14,000 to 11,000, something around there, right? So about 14, maybe 13,000 to 11,000 damage, right? That's roughly what it should say, right? But they doubled the damage of Chi Wave, and they nerfed the healing. So the healing nerf's there because they was about the same, but the damage isn't there. So because it should say like 28k damage, and then obviously in PvPs it'll change and whatever. But so it would hit for about 60k in one global non-crit, as against other players, roughly. If I don't know, I'm just guessing roughly, like, that's not complete hard math. Feel free to just tweet in this video as well if you want. Maybe you'll listen to it. Either way, I don't want to get too into it. I know it's like I'm crying about nerfs to my own class, which is never really a good thing to do, but I'm just trying to say, like, we got nerfed because of something that didn't get put in the game, so why did we get nerfed? If they're going to say that's why we got nerfed, then I want, you know, them to actually say, you know, prove that that's why we got nerfed. And I want them to, like, reroute and say, look, we nerfed you because of X, right? Because if they nerfed us because of that chi wave, which he said on his Twitter, and you've seen it on the screen, they nerfed it because of that, and it's not actually gone into the game, then why did we get nerfed? I can't understand that. You know, we didn't get the chi wave buff, so we shouldn't get a nerf because of it. And if you're also gonna, you know, buff or nerf something, you nerf the thing that's actually broken, chi wave, not nerf the whole class. You know, if that might just be me. Either way, we're moving on to the next section of the video, which is the question and answer section. I'm only going to do one question and answer today. I'm going to start doing a Blizz Let's Chat every single day. So you will see a PvP discussion and whatever, and I will just keep going through and cycling through. Maybe I'll take stuff from the forums and stuff as well, from what people have said, and then answer those questions and stuff. But this question comes in from a guy called Want to Buy Portals, and he says, hey, I'm new to PvP and I play a mage level 90. I'm not great at PvP as I've only started. Do you think I should carry on with trying to master it or re-roll? I really don't fancy re-rolling. And this is a weird thing to be asked since I don't play my mage right now. My mage is something like 80, whatever, probably 85-ish, maybe, I don't know, can't remember. Either way, I don't play my mage right now, but if anyone was to say that mages aren't overpowered right now, then I would consider them to really, really struggle with the game. Because mages are overpowered right now. They were planning to nerf them. They instead buffed them. And, you know, they tried to nerf silence or whatever. That was it. They needed a damage nerf because they already have a lot of control and a lot of defensive. So you have two of the three things, you know, control. Right, so they have a lot of CC. Defensives, they have a lot of that as well. So, you know, they don't need the damage as well. Like, they're not easy to kill or anything. A mage has 2 ice blocks, ice barrier, blink so he can get out of every stun. Certain classes are strong against them, yes, but everyone has their weakness. So I can't see why they didn't... I just can't see why they're allowing for mages to be, you know, have an instant AoE polymorph that increases their damage when they attack someone who's being done by that. Like, you know, seems polymorph already heals the person it's on. But either way, I'd say roll your mage at high levels, amazing skill cap, stupidly high. You can, you know, there's like a mediocre mage will still be able to get 1800 pretty easily, and a really good mage, it can easily get rank 1 for every season forever because their skill cap is so high. Like, a stupidly good mage will always just, you know, be stupidly high. This is the same sort of thing with rogues, and, you know, you get it with warlocks and whatever. There's like, the skill cap is, the ceiling is so high, you will never reach it. You can always be a better mage, rogue, warlock, disc priest, whatever. You can always be better at those classes, and there's not like a limit. You know, there's some soft limits and stuff, but obviously once you get better at the game, you know, the limits are endless. And at low levels, mages are ridiculously good at anyway. Like, you don't have to be a great player to be a great mage, because they don't have that much, like, you know, they don't have many things to struggle. And also, RMP is going to be really good comp this season. Actually, to be honest, there's so many good comps this season for mages. I'd say go for a mage and just enjoy yourself. Like, they're not, you'd have some things you won't like. You'll have, you know, you won't like hunters too much and whatever, and you'll have trouble dealing with DKs and whatever. But once you get used to playing against those classes, and that's not, you know, that many that you have to worry about, you will suddenly feel really, really strong, because everyone else you just smash. So you just got to learn to play against a few classes, and then you'll be great. And that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to rate it thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know any questions you have, and any comments you have on the video. If you feel like I was wrong in any way, don't forget to leave it in the comments below. I will discuss with you in the comments. I try to reply to every comment. And feel free to subscribe if you want to hear more PvP discussion from me. And I will see you again soon. Goodbye!